Hi, I'm Rob Cosman. Welcome to my shop. One of the least expensive yet most accurate hand tools I have is called a router plane. I'm going to show you how to make an add-on base for it. It makes it even more precise and easier to use. Stay with me. I'm Rob Cosman and welcome to my shop. We make it our job to help you take your woodworking to the next level. If you're new to our channel, be sure to subscribe. Turn on that notification bell, and don't forget to turn on the notification on your mobile device so you'll know every time we release a new video. Good? All right, back to the bench. Great example of where to use this tool, making a mortise and tenon. The fit on this has to be precise. The go, no go is really close. If it's too tight, all the glue gets forced to the bottom. If it's too loose, the glue does not have any gap filling capabilities and it won't hold together. So how do you get that exact fit? Well, I use my router plane with a slight modification of being the base. So I'll clamp this in place so it's easier to work on. Now I need to take maybe a thousandth of an inch or less off of that surface. Here's how I would do it. By having the base added on, it enables me to have a lot more support on my left side. So the first thing I'm going to do is lower that blade down. And as I get close, I like to put a little bit of pressure on there just to make it a little tighter adjustment. And I'll just keep moving it until I feel it start to catch. There. Then I'll lock that in place and give it a little extra torque. Now, the problem in using this tool is all of the force on the blade is pulling it down like this because of the shape of the blade. Well, you want to keep that surface parallel to that surface. By adding on the extra base, allows me to put a lot of pressure on the left side as I go through and make that trim cut on the face of that tenon. Now, if I wanted to add just the thickness of a sheet of paper, I go in here, put that on, loosen my cutter, drop it down so it just touches, snug it up, take the paper away, and now I can remove just the thickness of the sheet of paper. All made easier because I have that extra base plate holding or enabling me to keep that router plane from tipping to the right. Well, it's nothing more than a piece of MDF with a couple holes in it. I'm going to go through and make a bigger one for this, and I'll walk you through it. This is the Lie-Nielsen version of the Stanley number 71, and this is the Lie-Nielsen version of the Stanley number 271, or the small router plane. I think Lie-Nielsen has done the nicest and the best job of reproducing this particular plane, and I really like the way that the blade is held in place. The original Stanley was not nearly as good. This one, you've got a brass screw pushing on this corner, driving the cutter into the opposite corner. It's a very positive way to lock it in place without any slop or having it possibly work loose. So I'm going to put a base on there. I'm using a piece of MDF. I prefer MDF because it's a stable product. It tends to be flat and stay flat. It's relatively inexpensive and it just works really well. But you could use other things. I avoid plywood because it tends not to be very flat, especially in the smaller thicknesses. So I'm going to put this in there. I'm going to go right about in the middle. So I'll just draw a center mark here. And we're going to drill a relatively large hole right there. Now the number 71 already has two slots cut in there, so they've already made provisions for being able to add this base. I'll just get a couple of marks in the center. And it looks like those things are all on the same line, so we'll just make it easy. All right, over to the drill press. Hey, if you like this video, we have more. Our newsletter has subscriber-only content, monthly discount on tools, and anything we bring out that's new, subscribers get first crack at it. Click on the link below. Let's get back to work. Accurate. I'm using a fish bit. This is a 2 1/8, so it'll give me lots of visibility for when I'm using the tool. are 1/4-inch holes. I actually should have put a block on the back side so that wouldn't blow out as bad as it did. But it's okay because I've got to countersink it anyway, so I'll just get that material out of there. And we want that screw head to sit down below the surface so that you don't risk scratching whatever it is you're working on. Now you can make this base any size that you want. Pull that cutter up. And you also need to bear in mind that the thicker your base, the less range you're going to have with the cutter, so you have to take that into account. Put a couple of washers, put the nuts on. Now, to finish that off, just to make it a little easier on the hands, I just come in and cut some chamfers and knock those corners off. Now you just increased, I think, the usability and the accuracy of using your router plane. There you go. If you like my work and enjoy my style of teaching, click on any one of these videos and help take your woodworking to the next level. I've always said, better tools make the job so much easier. If you click on the link below, the chisel and plane icon, it'll take you to our site and introduce you to all the tools that we actually manufacture right here in our shop. It'll also give you information on our online and in-person workshops.